Happy Wednesday. Hopefully, everyone is having an awesome day because I am. And we're going to talk about history. Almost 100 years to this day, this event happened. And it's kind of interesting because I'm going to do a Washington Post story. I know that they're garbage, I know they're the compost, but I think it's important to remember the Bath Massacre, mainly because it was the deadliest school massacre to date. This person did not use a gun. No, he did not use a gun. This person was mentally ill. He became a monster. I think there's a quote from him: monsters are not born, monsters are made. Let's go ahead and see what this Washington Post has to say about this. Remembering the deadliest school massacre in U.S. history. Keep in mind that this is not a competition. This is just remembering history. And anybody out there that wants to beat this record, go ahead and start with yourself first. That's all I ask is start with yourself first. Take that however you want. A version of this article was originally published in April 16, 2017 under the headline Virginia Tech was not the worst school massacre in U.S. history. This was. I'm laughing because it's very absurd. That spring morning in 1927 could not have been more beautiful, one of the students would later recall. The Bath Colisated, yeah, I can't read. The Bath Colisated School just outside of East Lansing, Michigan, was holding final exams. But before the morning bell rang on May 18th, 1927, children ran and played outside. Peals of laughter could be heard. Little did their young minds and the rest of ours fantasy and their destiny was at hand. Perhaps half an hour they would rest internally with their playmates. A 15-year-old student named Martha Hintz later recalled in an essay. Later that morning, once the students and teachers had settled into their classroom, an explosion brought the walls and ceilings down. The school had been dynamited by an angry school board member, but no one knew that yet. The only thing certain was that children and educators were hurt and others were dead or dying. This is not an easy topic to talk about. Even almost 100 years has passed. It's not really something we want, at least I want to discuss, but it's important to the current topic on hand. We began to run, screaming and crying at the same breath, some running for the door while others made it for the window. Hence, a ninth grader wrote in a essay published in a book titled The Bath School Disaster. Once outside, she recalled, from every direction we could see people coming. Some were running at their utmost speed, and others driving machines, both hoping and praying that their children or friends were not among the dead. That's the difference between today and yesteryears, where the community actually came and helped. I mean, I understand why you don't want a whole mass of people coming to help, but it was a different period, different time. After each school killing, there's an urge to capture this magnitude and surplus happening after the 2007 school shooting at Virginia Tech, which the senior monster killed 32 people than themselves. Media outlets and others time recently as 2015 described the event as the country's worst school massacre. One Virginia newspaper ran a headline with the phrase, nation's worst rampage. But they were wrong, as horrific and devastating as it was. In April 16th, 2007, a day proved was not the worst mass killing on school campus. Is this rehashing? Yeah, it's pretty much rehashing. Here's the little bit more or less rehashing, but more on top of it, the detail. This is from the www.pressumic.edu, which I think is the University of Michigan edu website, which is a book which is on sale for $18.95 US dollar. The Basque Massacre, a gripping account of America's first and largest school mass murder. On May 18th, 1927, the small town of Bath, Michigan was forever changed when with Monster, I forgot, I'm not naming these people, set off a cache of explosives concealed in the basement of the local school. 38 children and 6 adults were dead. Among them was the monster, who literally blew himself to bits by setting off a dynamite charge in his car. The next day, on the monster's farm, what was left of his wife burned beyond recognition after the monster set his property and building ablaze. Was found tied to a handcart. Skull Crush with seamlessly endless stories of school violence and suicide bombers fill today's headline. Both the Bath Massacre serves as a reminder that terrorism and large-scale murder are nothing new. A native of Chicago, and Arnie Bursing, the author of Hoofs and Guns of the Storm of Chicago's Civil War Connection in Hollywood Lake, Michigan, 100 Years of Chicago and Movies. He's the winner, blah, 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 blah. Let's talk about the author. So, yes, it's as tragic as these numbers are. You do not need a gun to create such horrendous acts. This guy used explosives. And explosives are pretty easy to make. They're actually a lot easier to make than to go fill out paperwork for an AR-15 or an AK. All you gotta do is put chemicals together and light a fuse, and there you go. Timothy McVeigh used a fertilizer bomb, and half the building was gone. Or almost half of the building was gone. So now, going after guns, going after the tools is not going to be an issue. Yes, I do understand that laws are in place against explosives. And if caught with the explosives, it's a felony, and I do understand that. But that's not the point. The point is, this is nothing new. Unfortunately, nothing's probably going to change. But keep in mind, you don't need a gun to create horrific acts. And a monster is not born, a monster is made. Now, reading some of his stories, I couldn't really find the link I looked at, where it pretty much started with school taxes, where he couldn't survive on his farm, or couldn't keep his farm because taxes were becoming overbearing and he came behind in payments. He tried to curtail that by being on a school board member, and when that failed, he created this horrendous act. And unfortunately, when monsters act, the innocence is lost and the innocents are targeted. And unfortunately, that's not cool. And unfortunately, those things happen. But keep that in mind next time that you want to have a debate about this. I don't think the Second Amendment needs to be amended. I don't think we should go after guns. But at the same time, you're going to have an honest question how to solve this issue. With that being said, leave a comment down below, smash the like and subscribe button in any platforms. But most importantly, have yourself a wonderful day, morning, or evening.